You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 456 of Podketeers. This week we talk about the Academy Awards and the buzz around a couple of major categories. Josh tomorrow takes Disney to the South by Southwest Conference, some fun surprises at Disneyland's latest After Dark event, Princess Nite, 1 week into March Mayhem, and we're already stressing out about the matchups. We have another installment of Great Moments with Mr. Andrew, and we pay our respects to Rolly Crump. We'd love for you to join the conversation on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on our Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join the community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's going to wrap up the intro. It's time to get the episode rolling. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 456 of Podketeers.
I just noticed that Melissa's background is just like a bunch of disembodied heads.
Of course.
You got, like...
I mean,
except for the sipper. The Mickey sipper.
That's true. That's a complete body.
I mean, there's like Miss Piggy
Yeah.
there too, but it's just like there's a skeleton. Yeah.
Wait. There we go.
Oh, boom. There she goes. There she
Just
goes.
the head now.
Hey, speaking of the Mickey sippers, have you seen the Disney 100 Mickey sipper? Like the
No.
chrome-looking
No.
one?
I have not.
It's kind of cool looking.
Aw.
Yeah, it looks like the Mickey that they have in the Disney 100 advertisements and artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like
but
the one
it's,
they're
like,
gonna
all
send
silver.
us. That one, the D23.
No,
Where he's like,
no.
You can't see this because I'm doing the weird SpongeBob arms.
No, it looks way better than that one, actually.
Oh,
The one that
great.
they're sending for the D23 thing looks like an actual statue, like an award or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This just looks like a super shiny chromed out sipper.
Wow.
Interesting. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, me too.
Let me
Because
see if I can find a picture.
not even 5 minutes, we're already Googling things.
Right? Okay, so here it is.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
Oh, okay, so it's Mickey, but he's got like chrome shoes and
Yeah.
chrome.
Well, the clothes
Sleeves.
is also like chromed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like shiny, but he's got like a regular face. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
it. I see it. People are selling them
Yeah.
for $40 on eBay.
Of course.
Yeah. $40 is actually not that bad, considering that he's like $33 with tax when you pre-order it at like Red Rose Tavern or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
to get it for $40, if you're out of
Plus
state
shipping.
and aren't able to, plus shipping. I mean, still cheaper than a plane ticket. I mean, you don't get the excitement of being there to pick it up yourself, but you know, $40 on eBay is not bad for the zipper right now.
That is true.
I'm hoping to get like one or two to have them available for auction the next time we do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that by the time that we get to our next fundraiser, that things are a lot better and everything. So, because quite frankly, I miss those things. You know, I miss
Yeah.
being able to go out and hang out and just do stuff. So, yeah, I thought they were cool looking.
They're cute.
I'd actually want to keep one of those for myself.
Don't blame you.
And it's very rare that I end up keeping some of those sippers. Like I have some popcorn buckets and stuff behind me. I have a couple of sippers. The one cup that I do use that I always have with me is the stainless steel,
New Orleans
the
Square.
one that they did. Yeah, the New Orleans Square one for the anniversary. That is just such a cool mug. Or it's a cup, but the fact that it keeps whatever you put in it so cold is like my favorite part of that cup. So that's one that I use quite frequently. Is there a piece of merch that you guys use frequently like that?
I use that same cup for my makeup brushes. I do. I mean, it works.
I wear every day. I mean, when it's cold out, I have a Disneyland jacket, like it's like a fleece jacket. I wear every day that it's cold. And I mean, I wear when I don't have to wear work clothes. I wear a Disneyland T-shirt every day. So that's that. Most of my wardrobe was purchased at Disneyland. I've toyed with the idea of once I can get all my T-shirts that are in space bags and everything. I bet you I could. I want to see how long I could go without wearing a different shirt, like a new shirt every day.
Yeah.
And take a picture of it. I probably have 200 T-shirts at least. I don't know. It seems like a lot. Then most of them are Disneyland T-shirts specifically. So,
I mean, I have a lot of Disney shirts now, but nothing in the levels or quantities that you have, sir. That is an amazing feat. I would love to see. Yeah, I would love to see. Like, dude, post it to the Podketeers account, like in the stories when you open them all up. Like day 1 of question mark, day 2 of question mark, and see how long you can go.
And they're like, none of these are preserved. These are, I mean, there's in a space bag, but they're well worn. I have some shirts that have, like, the belt I used to wear all the time would like rip holes in the front of my shirts.
It's even better.
Like, it would just. So I have shirts with paint on them, but I'm like, I can't get rid of this. This is a Disneyland 60th. Shirt, but it's got a big hole in the neck. Oh well. Oh, this one's got bleach all over it. Oh, I'm keeping it anyway. So I've got so many shirts. Yeah. So one of these days, they're at my mom's house right now, being stored because I don't have the room. But maybe soon I'll have the room and I can go through all of my bajillion T-shirts. There's shirts that I've bought that I know I wasn't gonna wear. Like, I don't wear white T-shirts. I am too much of a mess to wear a white shirt. Like, it's too difficult. I'm too messy. I do too much dirty work. So, but a couple years ago, Disney Store sold a Roger Rabbit T-shirt that was like all white and just had a little red collar, and I had to buy it, but I'm not gonna wear it anywhere. So, it sits in the closet. And or in the storage bag where I don't even know where it is at this point. But it's around somewhere.
Damn. There's one piece of merch that I remember buying in the park that I ruined. I'm not going to talk about how I ruined it, but I ruined it. Mm-hmm. And it's the one piece of merch that to this day still hurts, knowing that I no longer have it, and that it was just my carelessness that ruined it to begin with. It was I don't know if you remember it, but it was the Buzz Lightyear hoodie. It was the white hoodie that looked like it was all the pieces of Buzz Lightyear around it, like his chest plates and everything. Oh man, of all the merch I think I've ever purchased in the park, it's definitely in my top 5. And I'm telling you, to this day, it's now been 5 or 6 years since I had to get rid of it, maybe ish, somewhere along there. Yeah, but I couldn't repair it, and just to see that one go was still hurts to this day, especially because they didn't continue that series. Like, if they had continued those were such cool hoodies. Like, if they'd done it with other characters, I would have owned an entire closet worth of those.
They were cool designs. I'm surprised. Yeah, like they're not available. It should be. Especially Buzz Lightyear.
So sad.
Come on.
Well, maybe when Toy Story 4 or 5 comes out.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Toy Story 9, Frozen 27, all of those.
Frozen 27, The Rise of Samantha.
I don't even know a Samantha. But you will in 27.
You will.
Right?
We will find out over the course of these next 25 films who Samantha is.
That's funny. Hey, speaking of films, I wanted to ask if you had an opportunity to watch the Oscars.
Yes.
I watched. I saw some clips. I didn't watch the whole ceremony, but I've seen some fun stuff from it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not big on award shows, so I can't really sit through them. I have to have some kind of vested interest in something or someone that's a part of it in order for me to enjoy them. Otherwise, I just kind of read the articles and watch the clips and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But there was a clip making the rounds that the first people that I thought about were you two, because it was all the Indy love. We saw Short Round hugging Indy years and years later as he was accepting his award. Your thoughts on that?
Such a happy ending for this guy. Like, it's okay. So I've been invested, but I cannot sit through the whole show. And to see not just the film, but to see how the awards, like, they just keep getting awards and awards and awards leading up to this moment was like the stars are aligned. Because when is this going to happen again? This is crazy. And it wasn't a publicity stunt. It just happened to be that way, where Harrison Ford is presenting the award for Best Picture, that he, excuse me, let me see if I could pronounce his name. Ke Huy Quan. Short Round. We know him as Short Round. I'm sure he's known as Data from the Goonies and so forth. But he was a part of that, and for that moment to happen again is awesome. Oh my gosh, the feels. So yes, that was like probably the most happiest thing I've ever seen, and I never care for the Oscars at all. I just don't.
Yeah, Kei Kwan. I'm watching this clip over right now just to refresh myself, and he is the most excited I've ever seen a person.
Yeah.
This is for the Best Picture one, and this is after he's already won his Best Supporting Actor award. He hugs Harrison Ford, gives a big old smooch on the cheek, and is just jumping up and down. It's kind of infectious just to just watch it. It's very emotional and exciting for him and for everyone that I haven't even seen the film, and I have to now at some point. It's
agreed.
It must be good, but yeah, it was just incredible, and the memes have been going around of the hug from Temple of Doom, and then his hug and everything, and he's been making the what do you want to call it, like on talk shows and stuff, talking about, I just watched one today where he's talking about when he reunited with Harrison Ford at D23 at the expo, and talking about just how that all played out. And it's I hope there's more for Harrison Ford and Kei Hei Kwan in the future, because that would be something to see. I think they're a good pair.
Yeah.
Yeah, his speech was, part of the reason I don't like watching these award shows is because, I don't know why, but I always feel like that they're like the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right? That they're more purchased through like the advertising of the films and talking to the panels, that run the event or something like that kind of buy you your award almost. And so if you're a really small film, you don't really stand a chance, right? And then there's some decisions that they make that just feel wrong, and in this one in particular, one of the videos that I saw kind of made me feel like that. Like when they were announcing the winner for Best Supporting Actress, and I think it was Supporting Actress, and Angela Bassett was one of the nominees, and it went to Jamie Lee Curtis, basically. Not that I have anything against Jamie Lee Curtis. I like Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Like, the stuff she's done in Halloween is great, but in the particular film that she won it for, even she acknowledged that she was surprised because she was in it for, like, 5 seconds or something. I don't know the logic that goes into this stuff, right? But
Right.
I don't know exactly how long Jamie Lee Curtis was actually in this film, but if that's correct, a couple of minutes on screen versus this entire performance that's, heartfelt, of the story of, a mother losing her husband, her son, her country, like we saw in Wakanda Forever. I just feel like that was so much more emotional. It was a bigger connection that was lost by not giving her the award. And so in my head, it's just kind of like, yeah, you're right. Like that other film just had way more publicity behind it. I don't know. And
Okay.
that even doesn't make sense right now as I'm saying it out loud, because the juggernaut behind Wakanda Forever was Disney, right? So
Right.
I don't know. My brain's broken right now because
Okay,
of this.
so let me help fix your brain for a moment, and I'll give you a little bit about what was in the film and why she may have not gotten it. And I'll say why. Okay, so the film itself, Everything Everywhere All at Once, is probably one of the best films I've seen in forever. Saying what Marvel has been doing with the multiverse, and you know how it's taken a while, right? This film does it in one film. And you're going through different phases, different year time stamps, you name it. And I don't know why she says she was only for 5 seconds, and that's not true. She actually does she plays a really good part that I didn't even recognize her in, but I was kind of shocked that she got it. I mean, it was cool that she got it, and I do feel for Angela Bassett. I do, because she was spectacular. No doubt about it. She was spectacular. But I honestly feel that it could have gone to Stephanie Hsu, who was also part of Everything Everywhere All at Once, because she was kind of like a breakout star that I feel she could have gotten a little bit more recognition. Her role was, she played like a pivotal role in all the multiverses that she's been in. And it is a trip, that whole movie from beginning to end. And I really wish everyone would see it because it's so good. The editing, the way the story is told, what they use to tell the story. There's a scene with nobody in it, and it makes you emotional. I have not seen
What?
that. Yes. There's a part in the film that's like, boom, like it smacks you because of the way that the story is told and the way that it's delivered. Like, they did their homework. And when we were done, like, I've seen it twice. And when I saw it again, I was like, oh my gosh, this is still freshly great. And I wish I had seen this in theaters. I did not, and I regret that so much. And that's not to say that Wakanda Forever wasn't up there. It was. I mean, I had the feels. We got completion. We got a story. We got everything. Like, it was so good. And I understand why people are upset. I do. I would not say that anyone is wrong, because that's not the case. But I honestly feel it could have gone to either her or Stephanie Hsu. I would have thought so. Because her character is kind of psychotic. It's so good. She's kind of psychotic, but she's so good at the same time. Like, different. Like, it's a mind trip. So if you love the multiverse and what we've seen through Marvel, this is it in one film, one shot, pretty much.
Yeah, and a lot of the I listen to film podcasts every once in a while, and they talk about how, like you're saying, the game of the Oscars and different stuff, and how and it's all voted by members of the Academy, so it's all a vote in general, but a lot of the time people think, this could have been Jamie Lee Curtis's. Like, people will give Oscars to people in later years for performances that they gave in previous films. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, you won it for this film, but it's more of a career Oscar, or you were owed this at another time. So I mean, not saying that Angela Bassett also doesn't deserve an Oscar, which she definitely does. She's on so much stuff. She's also on like the TV show 911, which we watch, and she's great on that. Like, she just does all kinds of stuff. But Jamie Lee Curtis has been in the industry. I think I was looking it up trying to see. It's like 10 years or so longer than Angela Bassett, maybe 8. Started acting fairly young. They're born the same year. So I don't know, maybe a lot of people saw this as Jamie Lee Curtis's, like, this is the one time, for all the past performances she's given and stuff like that. It's kind of like the career Oscar kind of thing. Who knows? It's all a voting, and there's, a lot of members of the Academy. I don't know how many members are of the Academy, but I think it's quite a few. So it's not just like 5 people showed up and they're like, we picked this one. It's voted on by peers, from what I understand, somewhat, if I'm getting that correct. But it's all a tough choice, and the people that we have a connection to, in anything, you never can tell how these things are going to shake out. So it's even surprising that Marvel got the nomination, and Angela Bassett got a nomination in general. I mean, I know they did it before, but it's kind of showing how the industry is seeing these big blockbuster films more, that they can be also award-winning films, yada yada yada. I mean, Avatar 2 was nominated for Best Picture, so they're in there. But there's still, a lot of time. I'm saying a lot, so it's there's a lot of variables, it seems.
Yeah, that's an interesting argument that you bring up about it too, because the argument of, they're kids movies because they're superheroes or whatever, right? Like, it never sat well with me, because things like Avatar have won these huge awards. Like, the first Avatar won a bunch of stuff, right? And I that can be considered as much a kids movie as anything else, because it's animated, to tons of people. But yeah, that's a really great point. I think the fact that it's just simply being acknowledged in that type of category is a huge step forward. But like I said, I don't watch the award shows. I just kind of watch the clips and trying to get more context about the entire thing and why and where and how. And, now that you've mentioned the movie, Mel, I feel like I need to, watch it at some point as well.
Yeah,
but
you do.
Yeah, this one, I just felt like it was not the right call, especially now that you've given even more context to Stephanie Hsu's performance. I just doesn't
when
make
you
sense.
see it, you'll be like, oh.
See, that's the thing. Like, if you're saying that, like, it just continues to not make sense in my head, right? But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we should move on from this.
I did look up that there are over 10,000 voting members of the Academy of Motion Pictures.
What?
Whoa, I didn't know that.
What?
I mean,
10,000?
I think basically, if you're an actor, you can become a member of the Academy. And I think, producers and different people. So, yeah, 10,000, over 10,000 members.
It's a panel of your peers, which you can say, hey, get the word out. Jamie Lee's going to win this year.
You just got to call 10,000 of your closest friends and make sure they all vote.
Speed dial.
It doesn't renew my faith in it. All right, anyway, let's talk about a couple of other movie-related things because, one, Princess Nite happened in the parks. There was a celebration. These Disney After Dark events happen, and they have special things. Special characters come out. They close the park down 5, 6 p.m., and it's open till 12 or 1. And there was 2 standouts for me as far as Princess Nite was concerned as I was watching people post about this. One, the Giselle that they chose for Princess Nite was almost a spitting image for for Amy Adams, just in general. Like, she was so good. They had a carriage bringing her down Main Street and, like, dressed up in her princess gown, like, spot on. I'm going to try to find a video. I will send it to both of you to watch it.
Oh, I've seen it. It's good. It's
right.
It's like a spitting image. It's bananas.
So I will send it to you, Mel, and then I'll post it on Discord for anyone that hasn't had an opportunity to see it, because it was uncanny. I did a double take as I was scrolling through and saw this video of her coming down Main Street. 2, Queen Kida, technically, depending on when in the Atlantis saga you are thinking about her. But Queen Kida, but for the sake of the night, she was Princess Kida, was part of Princess Nite. Princess Kida, Atlantis to Dreamlight Valley confirmed.
Not everything is connected to Dreamlight Valley.
You don't know.
Heyzen.
You don't
never know.
Next
month is Parks.
I mean, who are these princesses showing up in my game?
I couldn't tell you. There's somebody, I guess.
I mean, it's also like we haven't been asking for Atlantis, different IPs to come in Tomorrowland, but that's not going to happen. So this is a step up.
I know. So look, right now I'm gonna veer into Dreamlight Valley for like a couple of minutes. I don't want this to turn into this super long conversation about Dreamlight Valley, but I'm mad at them right now. Okay. I knew that there was gonna be a store coming up, right? And I knew that there was gonna be microtransactions. And every week so far since they introduced this back in February, they've had like 4 items in their store for sale. And if you've accumulated Moonstones, you can just buy them with what you accumulated so far. You even got some depending on the Founders Pack or whatever that you purchased. But dude, 1,200 Moonstones for a shirt or whatever in the game is the equivalent of a 5 real-world dollar transaction. $5! Okay? That's craziness, in my opinion. That model has to change. I don't mind spending money on in-game purchases when they are reasonably priced. Right? It is so overpriced right now. It is insane.
Is this why Scrooge doesn't have any nice clothing in his shop like I've had experience for the past, 3 weeks?
Supply chain issues. You know what? That supply chain, it's affecting
all going
even
to the Moonstone.
digital. It's affecting digital everything. That supply chain. Scrooge has got to import that stuff from China or whatever. I don't know, somewhere. I was trying to think of a funny. He's got to import it from I don't know, Duckburg to whatever, fill his thing.
I know life is like a hurricane there, but
yeah,
this is ridiculous.
they've been riddled with economic disaster over in Duckburg ever since Scrooge took his business to Dreamlight Valley. They're just trying to keep the clothing factories open, so it's hard to get raw materials. I mean, they got all kinds of eggs over there.
Collecting them yourself now too.
They got all kinds of eggs over there. You think they'd be flush with cash with the price of eggs, but ducks, eggs, get it anyway. That's a bad. That's a Launchpad McQuacks and Gadget, whatever his name is, Gear Loose. What
Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo Duck and
Gizmo Duck.
Anyway.
Yeah. So the other thing is, the reason I kept thinking about Atlantis is because, I mean, at this point it feels pretty obvious, right? But remember I told you that I started a second game so that I could play through one and just kind of enjoy it, and the other one, it would be like my streaming one where I actually record content with, right? On the second account that I've been playing on, after the 2 weeks I've been playing on it, I'm almost done with it. And like all the quests, all the tasks, and everything. So really, the only thing that's going to be left is completing as many dreamlike tasks as possible. And one thing that I thought was, like, in my head prior to the February update, I thought, oh wow, there's going to be a way to 100% the game before they add new characters and new doors and all this other stuff. And now, unless you're willing to spend $5 on each one of the 4 things that they're going to offer in the store, there's no way you can 100% the game anymore.
Yep.
Because there's always going to be clothing articles that are going to be added to the tally that you won't be able to purchase through Scrooge or any other means unless you got them through Moonstones. Now, if I can offer a solution to Gameloft for stuff like this, make the clothes available, make them exclusive to that store for the first 6 to 8 months or whatever, but then offer them as a Scrooge purchase, after 6 months to a year or something. That way people that wanted them still have an opportunity to see them at random or something. Or make them some insane price, or make them part of a quest or something like that, so that people still have an opportunity to get these additional things. And so the Atlantis connection came up because on that second account that I've been playing on, I was up in the forest and I looked over towards the beach. And I knew this before, but I saw the water falling off of the side again, and it reminded me that Dreamlight Valley is a floating island, essentially, with water that falls off the edges. Where was Atlantis? On a floating island with water falling off the edges, right? And so it just, the more and more that I keep seeing and the more that it reminds me, the more I want to see Atlantis in the game. And so I feel like there's all these things that are connected. When Disney started adding the Spirit jerseys and all, and like the Disney 100 stuff to Dreamlight Valley, I thought there's a reason they're bringing out this character. Like when they brought out Donald and Goofy in their Kingdom Hearts outfits several years ago for the Halloween thing is when the announcement for Kingdom Hearts 4 came. Right?
Yeah.
And so there's all these correlations to these characters that don't seem obvious at the time, but given the connection that we've seen to the parks and the game so far, I feel like this is just another thing that's stacking on top of some of the other things that we've seen that feel like it's coming to the game at some point. Or it's going to play a major role in the entire storyline, but we'll see. Let's see. Oh, hey, can we touch on March Madness for a second?
Yes.
No. I mean, yes. Okay.
Tough. We're going to talk about it.
Okay,
because
fine.
I realized something. I had full control, obviously, when I was creating the brackets and these random numbers and stuff. And everything seemed super fun, right? Like randomly assigned numbers, and it's like you didn't have to think about it. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to be really fun. And I was creating all the graphics and everything. I thought, oh, Pirates is going up against Iron Man. That's funny. That's cool, until I had to vote for it. Because now I had to make this insane choice, right? Like, do I go with Tony and then vote for Iron Man, which I love 3001, or do I go with Pirates, who have taught me that dead men tell no tales, and I've probably been on the attraction 3001 times. So when it came to stuff like that, I realized, what have I done? What have I done? And I realized that I had the full, like, I was able to set that matchup up. Like, I could have probably set it up so that Tony made it as far into the finals as possible. And now I feel like he doesn't stand a chance.
You done messed up, Ron.
Hey, welcome to Mayhem. Woo! That's pretty much it. Since the first set of rounds, or
Right?
first round of matches, it's been just crazy.
Yeah. What has been your hardest vote so far for each of you?
Treasure Cat versus Captain Rex, which broke my heart to know that I had to vote against either one of those two, because I think those were my two suggestions, and I'm like, this hurts because I want both of them to win, and that's not going to happen. So, yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, so I think most of them have been some, I know Tina, a lot of people are saying, and my wife Tina, she said the Lilo and Stitch versus the Emperor from Mulan was like a real tough one for them. But I don't know. I guess probably the toughest one would be the Mary Poppins versus Han Solo.
Yeah.
That one was, hard to choose. But I did it anyway. So I think I voted for Han Solo. But Mary Poppins won, so
I did too.
Sucks to be me, I guess.
I was surprised to see Mary go on. I'm like, wow. So that's the beauty of this
Yeah. The Lilo one, I feel like, has been the biggest upset so far. I think that one had the biggest margin of all of the votes. And I think the Ghost Host one also had a pretty big margin between votes.
And I'm mad at everybody who didn't vote for Roger Rabbit.
I
So
did.
I'm mad at all of you Squadketeers out there that didn't vote for Roger Rabbit. Come on.
So it's funny, when that one came up, when I voted, I said out loud, "You were not here with me." But the first thing that came out of my mouth, because that was a no-brainer for me, sorry, but the first words as I cast my vote were, "Sorry, Andrew." And then I cast my vote.
Rude, but it's okay.
So
you have to do what your heart wants, but your heart should want to make me happy more than voting for Lumiere. So you just got to check yourself there, Heyzen. But it's okay. I
Sorry,
forgive
man.
you. Not that you're asking for forgiveness, but it's okay. I forgive you all, but I'm still a little peeved, but it's okay. It's okay.
So,
I will live.
So I did have to go with my heart on that one because, I mean, as you know, that film is very special to me. So I know it's the quotes that we're voting for, but
Blah, blah,
that
blah.
song,
Sounds like a bunch of bull to me.
maybe I'll buy
But
you another
again,
Disney shirt. How about that?
That's fine. I'll have 302 Disney shirts.
We'll get you to that 356.
It's fine. I'm not upset. You can't hear it in my voice at all. I'm disappointed in you all, but it's okay. We'll just have to do another. Well, you know what? We're canceling the whole thing and starting over. We'll reorganize them all.
That's fair.
And they'll all be
That's fair.
Roger
Let's do
Rabbit
it.
quotes, and then I'll be happy.
We'll
32
Hey.
put
Roger Rabbit quotes.
and one Tony Stark one.
Yeah, and he'll still win.
You know what? You know what I would like to do? So, whenever there's any type, I mean, the biggest tournaments that I'm familiar with as a fan of wrestling growing up were like the fake wrestling tournaments, right? Where everybody's like fighting for a title, but then like somewhere down the line, it's like, oh no, this person is injured. Let's see who's going to take their place. And then it's some like random like competitor that was early on in the bracket but got eliminated. At some point, I want to have a March Mayhem where we have like a randomizer, and this has to be agreed upon by everyone, right? Like the FGP squad, by us. Like if everybody's cool with like we get to round 3 and then we run a randomizer and one of them gets booted out and then a second random number and someone from the original bracket that got eliminated can be placed in there. I would love to see how that like pans out. It's just like the randomness of the whole thing that I'm curious about.
And here comes Roger Rabbit with a chair.
Oh my god, Roger with a chair, Rogers with a chair. Yeah, I'd be totally
I'm
for
down
it.
with that. How about let's just you know what? Yeah, we can do whatever we want. This is our friggin' thing.
That's true, right?
FGP. You know what? I'm sure they'll be cool. It's fine. It's whatever. We'll just let them know ahead of time. Let everybody know. It's fine. It's fine. We won't do it for this one.
I can already imagine it. Mickey Mouse coming in with the elbow. People's elbow on Donald.
You know what? I have access to the Instagram account. Maybe I just get some Photoshop stuff going on, and maybe Roger Rabbit actually made it through. You never know.
That'd be funny. It's like, nope, this is the real one. So the other thing, I don't know, we haven't had a lot of people acknowledge it, but I snuck in, like, I know some people are just paying attention to the votes at the bottom. But one of my favorite things that I snuck into March Mayhem is Mike Wazowski's face is covered by the March Mayhem logo. And that, like, for me, like, if you know, you know, right? but
Look,
like
Mom,
for me,
I'm
it's
on
just
a
one of those
March
little
Mayhem
Easter eggs.
bracket.
It's just like, yes. Okay, Laia, I think we should continue. So March Mayhem, you can participate by voting in our Instagram stories. If you're on Discord, share your prediction bracket. We're still in the like the mid of round 1. There's a few more rounds to go. But if you have any predictions, we'd love to see them. Post them over on Discord. If you haven't joined us on Discord, it's super easy to join the community. You can head to podketeers.com/links. There you will find a link to our latest episode, the Disneyland playlist, links to our YouTube channel and Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. You will also find information, again, to join us on Discord, but also information for the FGP Squad. What is the FGP Squad, you might ask? Well, they are a fantastic group of listeners that help us out with a monthly contribution via Patreon. If you want more information on what the FGP Squad is all about, like I said, you can head to podketeers.com/links or podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors. You'll find information about what the FGP Squad is all about and a link to our Patreon. Being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks like access to our happy hour calls, random gifts, additional content that we've posted to Patreon, and more. So if you're interested, again, head over to podketeers.com/FGP. And if you have any questions about the FGP Squad or anything that we talk about really in these episodes, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support.
Yeah, and send those prediction brackets on Discord. I got a box of stuff to give away, and if nobody puts them up, then nobody can win.
Word.
And we got stuff to send out, like free
We
stuff.
do have stuff to send out.
We got like all kinds of stuff. If you want stuff for free, put your thing up on the Discord.
Yes.
Do it.
It's always
That's
fun.
it.
Do it.
Always fun. And it's free. That's the other thing.
Do it.
Free to participate. Hey, so a couple more things that I want to talk about. One, Disney, for the first time ever, went to South by Southwest.
Is that like an intersection or something? Or is that's just like a direction, right? South by Southwest. You go southwest. It's between south and southwest. That's South by Southwest.
Yes.
So they
that
just
is
started
exactly
heading in
what
that
it is.
direction, like from Disneyland or from like TDA or where they
From everywhere in the world.
they just went directly South by Southwest.
Yeah. So
Right
South
there.
by Southwest is it's kind of like its own little expo, right? And it's this convergence of like the music industry and film and TV and interactive content and technology, and it's a really cool place for people to showcase a lot of the stuff that they're working on. It's used a lot for networking opportunities. It's been going on since the early 90s, I want to say, and it takes place like every March, I think, in Texas, I want to say. It's interesting because a lot of the companies that go to South by aren't major, like they're not like Disney, right? And so the fact that Disney was there, to me, felt like an opportunity for Disney to recruit Imagineers. Because there's a lot of people that are in the technology spectrum that end up going to South by Southwest. And so it really felt like Disney was there to showcase, mainly to network and interface with other technology companies to do one of two things: either bring in more Imagineers or check out some of the other tech that's there and, maybe acquire some of that cool tech to start incorporating into attractions, which either way is a win situation, right? Like, you get these Imagineers coming up with cool stuff. I'm all for it, right? You get to experience super cool stuff in the parks. Unless it's around the world, then I got to watch it on YouTube for now, but it is what it is. So a few things they ended up doing at South by Southwest is, one, they had the Hulk that they've had in the time suit at California Adventure was greeting guests in the panel that Josh D'Amaro was hosting as part of this presentation. The other thing that they highlighted was the lightsaber. And this is the real lightsaber that they have Rey use on the Galactic Star Cruiser. I guess a lot of people didn't know that existed, which seems weird because I feel like when that was first announced and Rey used the lightsaber on the Galactic Star Cruiser, those videos were going viral when it first opened up, right? So I don't know if it's just because we're on Disney, like on the Disney side of social media, that we saw so much of it, like our algorithm just knows us, or if it was one of those things where, like, I don't know. Like, it felt like it went viral and everyone caught on to it, like, even outside of the Disney community. But apparently that's what's happening now, right? Because larger media outlets are catching on to this new lightsaber technology. But it was cool just to see it exhibited there. The other thing that they had, or that Josh D'Amaro presented, was a new Tinkerbell in a lantern. And it looked like it was a projection or like a hologram or something like that. It looked very Tupac, but Tinkerbell. And she was responding real time, which was really fun to watch. Like, he was asking her questions, she was responding. They had a guest come up and start asking her questions as well. There seemed to be a little bit of a delay, so I don't know where they were or if they just had really bad Wi-Fi for the Tinkerbell lantern, because there was like a 2 or 3 second delay in Tinkerbell hearing what was coming through and responding to it.
Well, and that was something that was play tested at California Adventure, I think about a year ago now. I think we might even mention it on the podcast. Yeah, that it's just like a person being projected. It's very cool looking.
Yeah. And I didn't see a lot of people posting about it when they did it at California Adventure. So I feel like this is the cool, the cool thing about Josh D'Amaro is that I feel like he has the playfulness that's needed to not just run Imagineering. Like, he has if
Persona?
If Bob Iger's looking for a successor, why is he not looking at Josh D'Amaro? Is all I'm saying. Like, I feel like Josh D'Amaro has enough business sense that Bob Iger can be like, let me guide you through this. And at the same time, he loves the parks. That's the important thing. He loves the technology at Imagineering. He loves the parks. At some point, so much so that it sounds super cheesy when he's talking about it. So there's a part of me that's baffled at why Josh D'Amaro isn't on the short list to run the Disney company.
Maybe he doesn't want it. I don't know. Maybe there's already been a conversation or something. Who knows?
That's a great point.
That's a good.
For some reason, I blocked that out of my head, but that's a great point.
I mean, it is surprising that someone wouldn't want it, but it also is like running like one of the biggest companies on the planet, and maybe that is scary. So
it could be, yeah.
It could be a possibility. They also were I don't know if you're going to get to it or not, but the Judy Hopps robot as well that was at the South by Southwest.
Great reminder. Talk about that a little bit.
So the among the other stuff that they had this rollerblading Judy Hopps robot thing. It like climbed over a wall and could fall down and get back up from falling down. So it's just another like animatronic technology that they're working, more robotic technology than anything. But yeah, they like pushed her on her rollerblades, and then she fall down, and then she could get back up, and it was kind of cool looking. Climbing over the wall and like falling was very funny.
It's definitely a long step from Osimo, that's for sure. Like that, I remember when that came out. That was like, okay, it could kick. No, this thing could climb over, get up, balance itself, and keep going. So it was really cool to see, for sure. So it's fun. I mean, who knows if it'll be in the park? So
I mean, I'm sure it will in Zootopia Land. When it opens up halfway around the world, but not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that Imagineering is putting together right now is just mind-blowing, right? And it may not seem like a lot, but to get a robot to have that type of articulation and balance and find like its way back to its center, the way that we naturally can as humans. You know, that's an amazing accomplishment. The whole idea behind this project is obviously to connect with people on a different level. Like we've seen the progression obviously over the years, like how they've gone from full, you know, characters having, you know, the artificial heads, you know, and making them face characters, for instance. Like we've seen some of that in parks around the world. This is obviously the next step, right? Giving you an opportunity to interact with these other types of characters in such a way that feels a lot more real. You know, like some of the experiences that they already have are already super fun. Like the one of the attractions that I've never seen in person, and yet I love every time somebody posts, is Turtle Talk with Crush. Like that show is so well done, and the interaction is just, it's spot on every time. Like they never break character. They're so responsive. You know, I like the last one. Just I was so freaking tickled by the answer that they gave because it's so matter of fact, and yet it's so real and so innocent in the way that it was delivered to the child that asked the question. I don't know if other people saw it that way, but I just saw it that way. So, a child asked Crush, "How do you breathe underwater?" And without skipping a beat, Crush says, "I believe that's called dying." And I was like, oh my God, that's such a morbid question, but it got a laugh because it's true, right? The way that it was delivered and everything is like it's those types of interactions where they don't miss a beat that just make these shows so special. And if you had a way of, you know, having a real Crush, like not a projection, like not a screen or anything, like a real turtle to be able to interact like that, how crazy would that be? You know, like
That'd be fun.
It's these interactions that I think are just going to enhance the park going experience over the next decade. These are the types of advancements that just make me excited for the new attractions coming to the parks.
Can't wait for it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All I could think of is like, not only just have Crush, but if they were to have one for Dory and then they would have one for Hank, that would be fun. Like, there's so many possibilities that could come out of this. Ariel, sheesh.
All right, I'm glad you're bringing up the Little Mermaid trailer because one, I didn't know award shows had trailers in the middle of them.
They don't. So that's all we really need to say about it. They don't. I don't think they should have did that. There's been lots of people saying they probably shouldn't have, but it already happened, and what can you do about it? I don't know. We don't need to say any more about that.
I had this issue with the trailer, and I watched it again. Okay, so here was my issue, right? When I was watching the trailer, it felt super weird to me that the ocean scenes didn't seem to have bubbles, and they didn't have, like, it felt like they were floating in space. Like they just, it didn't look like water to me. And then I realized that it was just me and my old eyes watching on a tiny screen with not enough brightness because when I brought this up to you, you both said, but there's stuff floating in the water. And I didn't believe you until I watched the trailer again. And so after watching it again, I do see the particles floating around and stuff. I felt dumb. But it felt like when I watched it the first time, like there wasn't enough bubbles or anything in the ocean, and it just looked super weird to me that they were floating. Because there was obviously water, right? There was like all the water with Eric drowning and stuff, and then she gets her legs from Ursula, and it's like psh, Sports Illustrated sunset, you know, scene and everything. It was, I get it, it's cool, but I felt dumb not seeing the little particles and stuff. I wish there was maybe, I guess you can't win, right? Because then you have the people saying like, it's too blurry. Like I know you're in water, but it should be clearer. Or why is there so many damn bubbles? Like I can't see what's happening.
I mean, what can you do? It's like 6 of one, half dozen the other. And it's also, I think some of the weirdness that, you know, is probably lending to it is these actors are obviously not underwater. None of this was filmed underwater. Maybe there's a section or two that maybe they did some water stuff, but for the most part, you can't just like talk underwater and act underwater and all that kind of stuff. So when they're acting, their movements are as if they are through the air. So you can move all kinds of fast and stuff like that. So that may be leading to where it looks kind of like they're not in water because they're not moving as if they were in water. Specifically, one that I was looking at is when you see Ursula, there's like a profile shot of Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. And it just looks like it's just filmed there, but then you see her hair floating, which is, CG hair. But her face just looks like it's, in air or whatever, which, you can't really do much about it. You can't film a movie underwater. People can't breathe underwater. You can't talk underwater. That's just what happens. So,
yeah.
And, they're also trying to, I'm assuming, make it look a little cartoony. They do their halfway between cartoon and super realistic thing, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't, and I don't like how Sebastian looks, and
Scuttle
what can
looks
you do?
Creepy.
Yeah, Scuttle, it's like in the animated one, Scuttle's just like a seagull, and in this one they're like, well, it has to be like this weird sea finch or something. I don't know what kind of bird Scuttle actually is. So instead of making it just like a seagull, it's like some very specific, well, this takes place in wherever it takes place, and so this is the kind of bird that would be natural to that environment. So we have to pick the whatever it is, the lark, or I don't know, birds. Some bird expert tell us what kind of bird that is. Aviary person. I don't know. What do they call people that watch birds?
Bird watchers.
Bird watchers.
Yeah.
Hey, bird watchers out there, go on Discord and tell us what they call people that watch birds. Because I think there's another word for it that's not bird watcher. It's like, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. It's fine. I mean, if you like to watch birds, you do you, boo. But trailer was good. It makes me excited for the film, is, I guess, the long and short of it.
Yeah. Well, one, you're not dumb.
Some people would argue, but okay.
No, the reason I say that is because in the first scene where Eric is, when he's off at the ship and he's going into the water, there's no bubbles. If you're, sad to say, if you're drowning, bubbles of air come up. There's none. So you're right. You're technically right on that. That's why I'm saying you're not dumb. So you got a point right there. There's other parts, you do see the bubbles or some things, but it's not real-time bubbles we see or we're used to seeing. So, not dumb at all. Beautiful film, looks
well, I
great and everything.
appreciate the vote of confidence on this one.
You're welcome. Poor Flounder, poor thing. He's nightmare fuel.
Man, Flounder looks bad.
Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything looks great, but poor thing. It's like you couldn't make him, I don't know, pleasing to the eye? He's just cute. Anyways, so yeah. You're not dumb.
Well, again, I appreciate the vote of confidence on this one. But if there's anything that I've learned from this is, one, make your screen brighter, when you're going to watch a trailer so that you get a little bit more of the details. And two, maybe don't watch it on your phone. Watch it on TV or on your computer monitor or on a larger screen so that you see more of what's happening. So, yay.
Hot tips from Heyzen.
Right? We got Tron merch. It's actually kind of nice Tron merch, too, but it's only at Disney World.
For now.
Makes me sad.
I will admit that of everything that I saw, I don't know if it's a full backpack or if it's one of the Loungefly backpacks, but it looks like a little arcade, like a cabinet. And I thought that was a pretty cool piece of merch. And then the disc. If I could have like an identity disc like that, it looks pretty sweet.
I know, right? Who do I send my information, my Venmo information to? Just take it all. Just
Yeah, it looks like a lot of like. My guess is some of this was reused merch from Tron Legacy that didn't sell too well, or they still had the molds for, like the data discs and things like that. I know they have an action figure where you can put your face in it. I think it's like an animated face. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they have
that.
Yeah, so they're selling those too. So all kinds of stuff. They have some retro line toys. I think they're Super 7 Tron retro toys. They're selling data discs, of course. I think they're also selling the original data disc frisbee looking ones. So they have all kinds of fun stuff. I think they have a data disc with a backpack that then holds the data disc as well, sort of thing. So lots of cool
I didn't
fun
see
stuff.
all of the merch. That's awesome. Okay. All right, Mel, we'll talk to somebody in Florida, see if we can get some of this stuff.
Oh, and maybe, is this a jacket that can hold a data disc as well? They got all kinds of stuff.
all right. Add that to my list too.
Oh, I did see the jacket. Yeah. I don't think the jacket is fluffy friendly, so I think I'm out on the jacket. But some of that other merch, I think I'm good on. So, let's see. What else? Oh, Dole Whip. Dole Whip in April. It's coming to the stores.
Don't watch me whip. Don't watch me nay. Don't watch me whip. That's going to be the commercial. You know, that.
I will Dole Whip and you can nay all the way back to the store.
I'm trying to do it. I'm not a dancer. Good thing nobody can see this. Just you two can see.
This was like
we tried to
perfect. Like, yeah. So
you can only do
this
so
is
much when you're
exciting.
sitting down to nay, so it's
That's true.
it just kind of looks
true.
like
But you know what
waving.
though? You know what though? You nailed it.
You did.
Spot on.
Did it.
Your TikTok video naying while seated would have gone viral.
Seated nay.
Seated nay. Yeah.
The lazy nay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
boy.
this Dole Whip stuff coming to stores in April, you will be able to buy what you need to make your Dole Whips at home. There's been a lot of recipes out on the internet that I think you can find to create your own version of a Dole Whip, and a lot of them get pretty close. We've tried a couple. There's other drinks that you can buy. Like last year, Starbucks had a drink that tasted very similar to a Dole Whip. It wasn't as accurate as people claimed it to be, but it was tasty.
It was just like
This is supposed to be
pineapple
the real
flavored,
thing.
and everybody's like, pineapple is Dole
Yeah.
Whip. And I was like, I mean, Dole is just pineapple dessert. Like you can buy pineapple juice at the store. Like,
Yep.
That's the one thing where people are like, it's Dole Whip. I'm like, it's Dole Whip's just pineapple flavored soft serve or whatever it is, soft dessert treat, whatever you want to call it. So it's I mean, pineapple upside down cake. Oh, Dole Whip flavored upside down cake. Like, I don't...
So yeah, I mean, I guess the excitement really comes from the fact that this is authentically Dole Whip now, and you'll be able to have the exact recipe and everything. It's ready for you to enjoy it. I will say that if you're in the Southern California area, primarily around like LA and stuff like that, if you haven't ever gone to Hula Girls Shaved Ice and had their version of Dole Whip, hot damn, it is like the closest thing to the Disneyland version that you will ever have outside of the parks. So I'm not paid to say that, but
we could be Hula Girl Shave Ice. Give us a call.
True. We could. But if you're ever in their neck of the woods, look them up. They have the best. They also cater. That's another cool thing. Like they have like portable stuff that they can take to cater for events, and they will do the Dole Whip one.
It looks like they're gonna have 3 flavors.
Oh, that's what I was
going
to ask. If it was just going to come in the standard one, or because I didn't read that part of it. What are the flavors that they're going to have?
Pineapple, mango, strawberry. I don't know why I did a weird voice, but I did. Pineapple,
That
mango,
first
and
one sounds
strawberry.
so exotic.
Pineapple.
That's the one I want to get.
That's the only if it's made in France. If not, it's just sparkling pineapple. That's a Wayne's World
that
joke
was
for
French?
5 people. You know, I don't know. It was just a bad
When
joke.
you
Ignore
said it,
the
I
joke.
instantly thought Geppetto.
No, I know. It was not French. I was baking in bad Wayne's World jokes. That's okay. Pineapple, mango, and strawberry are the flavors. Here, I'll say it like a person who's not insane. So
I can't unhear it though. Like I want to say it like that all the
Panoply.
time now.
It's a panoply. Oh, my little wooden head, and he's having a panoply Dole Whip. Oh,
And now everyone is going to hear
Pinocchio.
it just like that from now on.
A
Wow.
pizza pie, Panoply. I also like that I'll just ignore all that stuff I did, and I'll just keep talking. The boxes, the logo that says Dole Whip, it's kind of a very like Adventureland-y style box and sign. Like the sign is like bamboo poles with rope holding them together, and then it says Dole Whip on it's like a little sign. So it's very, very much like the Dole Whip stand right there at the entry to Adventureland.
It is.
It's they're
I don't blame
getting
them.
the hints in. Why? Yeah, they know
Yeah.
why they're selling this. Like
Yeah.
they know who their market is.
What was the third flavor again?
Strawberry
Strawberry?
or mango.
That's funny.
Those are the other
They-
two.
Do they have a mango and strawberry at the Tropical Hideaway?
They have what? Orange.
Orange.
And...
They have orange, raspberry,
A
and
raspberry,
raz-
yeah, but not strawberry.
or mango.
I wonder why they went mango and strawberry instead of the orange and raspberry that they have.
Probably
in the park.
coming to the parks. I don't know.
Or maybe they wanted to, have. I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
exclusive
the
flavors.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe the orange and the raspberry didn't transfer well flavor wise to the store mixture, because it's probably a little bit of different, mix because it's going to sit in the freezer aisle. It's not going to be fresh out of a thing where that mixes up there. It doesn't have to really have much preservative type things.
Maybe.
So maybe it didn't transfer well, or they tested them and the audiences didn't like the raspberry. Who knows? There's all kinds of things we could theorize.
Yeah.
Or maybe
The
they just
raspberry
wanted
one
to
is
save
tasty,
those. Yeah, maybe they wanted to save them for the future so they could be like, okay, now we have more flavors. We got orange. We got, what was it, raspberry. We got
Raspberry.
blue. We got all kinds of flavors.
Blue is such a good flavor.
Blue. Yeah, they should just have blue.
When I first had blue and the purple stuff, I was like, wow, this is fantastic.
Blue and purple.
Oh.
That coming soon to Disneyland. You got
Right.
pineapple, orange, blue,
Oh,
purple.
There's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, food related, since we're in the parks, and
Food?
that is that at the Pixar Hotel, they're gonna have a new restaurant that's gonna serve chicken and donuts.
This is
Sounds like
a
a fun combo.
yeah, it's like chicken and waffles but donuts. I don't know. Are the donuts are they sweet donuts? Are they savory donuts? Are they chocolate glazed, cream filled donut? Is there any information on these donuts? Because I like a good Bavarian cream filled donut myself, but I don't know how well that would go with a fried chicken.
Oh, I don't care if it had chocolate.
Oof, I know. I think these are closer to what you would get at Krispy Kreme. It's just like a standard
Just like a
glazed donut.
glazed, raised donut.
You know what's funny? KFC had a donut, like a donut chicken sandwich a couple of years ago. I never had an opportunity to try it. It felt like it was something that I may have enjoyed because I think that
Oh.
the old KFC recipe, I think, is better than the current KFC recipe, obviously. But the contrast of savory and sweet, I think, would have played well together. But obviously, KFC, not like the highest quality chicken. So the fact that a restaurant inside of a Disney hotel is doing it, I'm hoping that we get better fried chicken out of it so that you get a better chicken donut sandwich. But it sounds good. It sounds like it's something I would want to try at some point.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic killed the chicken donut sandwich, it looks like.
Is it what killed it?
Ouch.
I mean, it looks like it came out around February 2020, or like right around there.
Oh.
I'm watching a review
that's
of
sad. It didn't have a chance.
Of a man eating a donut chicken. It's just a piece of chicken between two donuts.
It is.
This is silly.
It is.
It reminds. There was a Jim Gaffigan joke that he was talking about Dunkin' Donuts. And he said, Dunkin' Donuts, okay, or a breakfast sandwich. We're like, all right, it's the donut ham hamburger. It's a hamburger, but instead of the bun, it's two donuts. And then we put, you know what? And then add a ham sandwich. It's the donut ham hamburger. So I've been waiting for the donut ham hamburger to come out. It still hasn't. But this is
Maybe we
pretty
should
close.
make it.
I've had something like that.
Really? Where?
The OC Fair.
What?
That
It
sounds
was-
about right.
Yeah, it was.
The fair.
Jill and I had this, and it was Krispy Kreme donuts, and you had In-N-Out in between.
What?
It was weird. It was weird.
Like they just went and bought a bunch of In-N-Out and then made
Yeah.
this stuff at the fair.
Yeah. So you had
What?
that. You had your
What was
your
weird
sweet
about
and
it?
the flavors, because it was just you were tasting sweet, but then you had your In-N-Out, and you're like, gosh, this is. I guess at the time it was like weird, like super different for me, so I wasn't used to it. Now I'd probably be like, oh yeah, I'll eat it, but
Huh.
it was the two worlds were like weirdly mixed. But yeah,
When two
but
worlds
if you put
collide.
ketchup, it tasted better.
Ugh, blah.
Interesting.
For real.
I mean, ketchup is sweet. Ketchup on a donut. Just think about that for a minute.
And it had cheese.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A cheese. I mean, they have like a cheese Danish, which is like kind of like in the middle, but it's not just like a slice of cheese. I don't know how I feel about this sweet and savory business. I've never been too keen on the sweet and savory together.
I mean-
French fries and milkshake is the closest I get. And that's kind of more salty sweet than anything.
I mean, I combine savory and sweet. We just talked about it like an episode or two ago with like waffles and pancakes, right? Like I make candied bacon all the time, or I make spicy candied bacon. You know, so they are like, depending on how you flavor it, obviously it does come out different. And I think depending on the type of chicken and batter that you use, because like In-N-Out itself is such a distinct flavor because of how they mustard fry their patties that I think the mustard can throw off the flavor. But if you just have like a peppered patty, salted and peppered maybe, or maybe a little bit more on the salty side so you get a little bit more of that savoriness with the sweet, I think that can work, especially with a piece of like a really good piece of fried chicken. Oh, you know which chicken it could work well with? We're going to Mama Knott's. We're getting chicken from Knott's Berry Farm. I think that's the chicken that's going to make this thing succeed.
Well, it's going to be the same Plaza chicken. I mean, they're not going to like change the whole recipe, I don't think. I mean, they might. You never know. It's who knows what this restaurant is going to be
That's
at
true.
the Pixar Hotel. Is it going to be fancy? Is it going to be like Steakhouse 55? Is it just going to be like a quick service place? Is it going to be a mix between? Who knows? But hopefully there are also other options. I'm sure it's not going to be just the chicken and donut restaurant. I mean, it could, but highly doubt that it's
That's
they
all
only
you
serve
get.
chicken and donuts. You want chicken, you want donuts, or chicken and donuts. That's all you get.
Okay, fair game.
But you never know. But I'm sure there will be a whole menu full of interesting, fun stuff. So we'll see.
Dude, the one day you see fried chicken and they're like, would you like that with a side of Bavarian donuts? You're going to be like, yes, please. I'll take 2.
To Bavaria, yeah, but put them on this side in another container away from the chicken. Please.
Don't let them
That
touch
is
or I
my
send it
opinion.
back.
Yeah, yes. I send it back. If they are not 2 chocolate donuts, I send it back.
Oh, man. All right, enough food talk. I think it's time for us to jump into great moments with Mr. Andrew to wrap this episode up in a bow. But before we do that, I do want to just quickly send our condolences to the family and friends of Disney legend Rolly Crump, who passed away in his home a few nights ago from the release of this episode. Rolly, man, I had an opportunity to interact with Rolly on a few occasions. And we were lucky enough to get Rolly on the podcast as a guest. And I remember when we first reached out to him, it was one of those times, like, we had Bob on the podcast at the time, at that point, and having him, I felt, was really special because Rolly's art has always, it's so weird and it's so different that at times where I've felt out of place, his art makes weird feel normal, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
He was a person that would advocate for, let your weird flag fly, and I think a lot of artists that honed in on that and were inspired by Rolly have gone on to do some really amazing things, either at Disney or out in the world. And so the few times that I got a chance to interact with him, I remember the first time that I met him was, at this point, probably 10 or 11 years ago. And we were at this comic book store, which I don't think exists anymore, but is this place called Beach Ball Comics in Anaheim. And at the time, I was really into photographing things at the park. And so I had this idea for a series of having Imagineer windows hanging in my office, like at home, right? And I have a lot of them. But Rolly's was one of the first that I shot. I shot Rolly's, and I shot Bob's, and I shot Sam McKim's. And Rolly's was the first one. Like, my idea was to get photographs of these windows and to have the Imagineer sign them for me so that they were autographed hanging on my walls. And Rolly's was the first window that I got autographed. And I remember walking up to him and showing him the windows, and he just, I think he was being overly nice about it because it's a picture of his window, right? It's just a photograph. But, he was just so nice, and he's like, "Oh, wow, this looks so great. This is a fantastic photograph, and wow, it just really captured my window." And as a photographer that was kind of starting off, that meant a lot to me because I felt like whether or not it was true, he made me feel like I shot one of the greatest things in my life at that time. And so he happily signed it. I had a couple of copies. I had one for me. I had one for my brother. He signed a couple of copies for me. We took some photos, and I just had an opportunity to talk to him for a little bit because I hung out and just waited. And it's those interactions that you just keep with you, for the rest of your life, right? Mm-hmm. I had an opportunity to see him multiple times after that, on top of speaking to him for the podcast. But it's a big loss for the Disney community. It's a huge loss for the creative community in general. But Rolly meant a lot to a lot of people. His inspiration, his art, and everything, was it. We wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have today in the parks, mansion, the tiki room. It's a small world. I still wish that somehow they would have been able to save the Tower of the Four Winds and have it at Disneyland because it was just a marvel on its own to watch it. We always talk about whenever we would do Armchair Imagineering episodes, we would always talk about that kinetic energy and watching things move and watching the flow of everything. And damn it, if the Tower of the Four Winds isn't one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And it's he's going to be missed. He was very kind. He was very knowledgeable. Always thanked Walt for everything. He was so appreciative of having the opportunity to work for the Disney company. I feel very fortunate to have had an opportunity to speak with him and to meet him, and yeah.
I don't think anybody could have put it any better. The world just got a little less weird, and we're a little worse off for it. But I think you put it very eloquently there, Heyzen.
Long live weird. That's all
exactly.
it is.
Yeah, it's a good hashtag to try to get rolling. Long live weird. So I think Rolly is an astonishing person, and I think he deserves a full segment or an episode, where we just talk about him and his career and everything. But I think a really great way to capture his view on life and a lot of his experiences is through Jeff Heimbuch's book that he wrote with Rolly called "It's Kind of a Cute Story." If you haven't read that book, the stories are great. It's available on Amazon and other sites for you to purchase. There were also audio files that were released as part of it that you can purchase that supplement the book, and he continues to talk about other attractions and everything. He goes on to talk about also some of the stuff that he did for Knott's Berry Farm and Berry Tales and all that stuff. So if you want to learn more about Rolly, his work, and all the stuff that he did for a lot of the stuff that he did for Disney and outside of the Disney company, check out It's Kind of a Cute Story and the supplemental audio if it's still available. I don't know if it's for sale, but definitely get the book. It's a great read. It's a great buy. You won't regret getting it. Cool. So I want to move into great moments with Mr. Andrew so we can wrap up this episode.
Let's do it.
So without further ado, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be talking about Rolly and many other Imagineers in the coming weeks, months. But right now we're in 1943, so quite a ways away from Rolly's hire of 19. I think we're about 10 years away from his hire. About 53, I think he was hired, somewhere around there. We'll get to it. But anyway, we're 1943. Right smack dab in the middle of World War II. So many of Disney's resources are going to the war effort. So these next few segments might be a little short because Disney's just mostly focusing on their war contracts and things with the government and stuff like that. So there's still a few. There will be things that come up, but a lot of it is just war stuff. So on January 1st, the Donald Duck film Der Führer's Face was released in the theaters. This was the short where Donald has a nightmare that he's living in a country run by Nazis. This short also won the Oscar that year for short film. On February 6th, Disney's sixth animated feature film, Saludos Amigos, premieres in the U.S. And on July 17th, the live-action the combo live-action animated film Victory Through Air Power is released to theaters as well. By the end of the year, the company has released 18 shorts and produced 29 instructional films made for the military. And I'm going to introduce a little segment inside this segment because it's so short information. So some notable births from this year, 1943, connected to Disney and Disney-owned things. So February 9th, Joe Pesci, famous from Home Alone, something owned by Disney. March 29th, Eric Idle, Monty Python, but also featured in Journey to Imagination with Figment. March 31st, Christopher Walken, from his biggest role, the Country Bear Jamboree movie, the Country Bears movie. September 21st, Jerry Bruckheimer. November 28th, Randy Newman. December 23rd, Harry Shearer from The Simpsons and many other things. And December 31st, Ben Kingsley, the Mandarin himself, Ben Kingsley. So those are 1943 birthdays. That'll bring us into 44. 1944 is the first year Disney has re-released one of their films. In February 1944, Disney took a gamble with re-releasing Snow White, and that gamble paid off and made quite a bit of money for the company that they were desperately in need of. So it was kind of started off the trend. They started early with re-releasing, and it kind of just always is around. Snow White and all the Disney films have been re-released multiple times. Also related to Snow White, RCA Victor released songs from the film on a record, and this was the first soundtrack album from a film to be released on record. So that's also something interesting. Also this year, filming begins on the then titled Uncle Remus film in Phoenix, Arizona, which would go on to be titled Song of the South. And on December 21st, Disney premiered its 7th animated feature, The Three Caballeros, in Mexico City, Mexico. By the end of the year, they had released 18 shorts and produced 29 instructional films for the military. And our birthdays for 1944 include April 4th, Craig T. Nelson, Mr. Incredible himself. May 4th, Russi Taylor, Minnie Mouse. May 5th, my guy John Rhys Davies. May 14th, George Lucas. May 19th, Peter Mayhew. May 25th, Frank Oz. So there's just like a whole Lucasfilm little block there.
Yeah.
They're all born in May. All these just titans in my mind anyway. Anyway, September 25th, Michael Douglas, Hank Pym himself. November 10th, Tim Rice, lyricist for Lion King, Aladdin, things like that. November 17th, Danny DeVito.
Hey.
So there it is. There's our very short segment with 1943 and 1944.
Very cool. Yeah, I figured when we started doing the series that there were going to be several years where not a lot happened because there were points in the history where they were so concentrated on something that was happening that there was no other advancements in anything else, right? And with the war going on right now, a lot of their focus was on creating a lot of the shorts for the war shorts, basically.
And then, like, the military, like, they had a lot of instructional, like, how to rivet a wing. And they were just, like, animated things, that, like, technical films, just like, how to do this, that they would show to, like, help people build airplanes and boats and things.
Yeah. I remember a lot of those were, I don't know if you remember ever seeing them, but Disney at one point released these DVD tins. Mm-hmm. And one of them was like the war cartoons and stuff. Like, I know I have it somewhere in storage. I'm going to see if I can fish that out. And then we can all watch them together.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because I mean, you can find them on YouTube. Some of them that, like, the first one they did, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, was for Canada. It was like how to rivet or something. The something on riveting, I forget. It was something about riveting. It was their first, like, instructional film, and it's very just like, you put in the rivet and then you pull this, and then if you do not do this, then this is bad. So this type of rivet is just like literally just a guy narrating, and then it shows like how rivets work, and like, you should countersink this type of rivet, and then this rivet you have to undersink it, and da 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 da. I put it on the background while I was writing some of these out, and I'm like, this is boring. I could fall asleep to this.
That's funny. Well, yeah. I'm going to see if I can still find that tin. I'm curious to see what else was on there. I don't remember how many were there in total, but those collections were pretty good because they always had, like, additional footage and additional pieces that weren't really available. Mm-hmm. But again, that was also 10 years ago, if not more, and so a lot of that has made its way onto YouTube and other sites for you to be able to watch.
But these are the things that should be on Disney Plus.
Thank
yes,
you.
Agreed.
Yes, exactly. You know, if Disney did a little more of an effort, I think they can get their numbers up for Disney Plus if they just added more of this stuff. So, Bobby, give me a call. We'll talk about it. You know, we'll do a Zoom call with all of us, and we'll give you some more ideas. And you know, we'll talk about that Club 33 membership that you're going to spot us for all the work we're going to be doing, and our lifetime memberships. And yeah, we'll deal with that later. But give me a call. We'll work it all out. So we're the idea people. We got you covered, buddy.
Yeah, they stole our March Madness from last year. This year, it's fine. It's all fine.
What are they calling it this year?
Munch Madness.
Munch Madness.
Which is like, if you listen to Doughboys, if you listen to the podcast Doughboys, that's what they call their March Madness, is Munch Madness.
That's funny.
Wait, and that's been like,
wait, they're I thought they were doing Mickey's.
They're doing two. They have two. They have two going on.
No, they didn't. Are they stealing March Mayhem and March Mayhem in April, before April?
No, they're just Before April. They're just doing them simultaneously. I think one is like on the Disney parks, one because it's park food, and then the other one is just on like the general Disney socials.
Okay. Yeah, the only one I had seen originally was the Mickey one, so I didn't know if they called it quits, but I do remember, see, it all loops back to Dreamlight Valley, because they showed all the Mickeys, and the Dreamlight Valley account, I think, on Twitter responded to the Mickey bracket saying, like, we got Mickey in his Disney 100 outfit in the wings if you need a replacement for one of the Mickeys, which that's probably how I got the idea of randomly replacing somebody halfway through the tournament. This is how we get Mickey with a chair. The Dreamlight Valley account's going to be like, Disney 100 Mickey with a chair knocks out Toontown Mickey. We'll see.
You know what? Let's do it. I will see Mickey with a chair.
All right.
All
the
right.
imagery behind that.
On that note, I think it's time to wrap up the episode. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. If you have any comments on anything that we talked about, join us over on Discord. Again, joining the community is super simple. Podketeers.com/links is where you'll find a way to connect with us. Episode info, all that good stuff. Playlists, YouTube links, all of it. So until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya. I'm still mad about Roger Rabbit not making it through.
Part of the Podketeers Network.